Hi, I'm Allison for Leading Edge Dog Show Academy, and today we're going to talk about our tack box, our dog show equipment, our tack bag, our container, our equipment. The care and organization of our equipment when we are going to dog shows. So I've been going to dog shows for a really long time, and I have tried literally every ideation of tack box, tack bag, tote bag, everything. And whatever works for you, right? Like that's how I'm gonna leave it. But whenever I have just like thought, oh, I'm just gonna take everything in a bag, that'll work, it never works. It just gets super frustrating because the thing I need's at the bottom, my equipment's gotten wrecked, or I've lost things because when I go to check everything at night, I can't check that everything's in its place because nothing has a place to actually be. So no matter what kind of configuration you have, I think it's useful to have a system, right? So we talk about systems in grooming, we talk about systems in handling. So let's talk about systems with our equipment. So one of the things that I find useful is to actually have a tack box designed for the purpose, right? Like these have been designed by dog show people for our equipment to go in, and I'm gonna kind of run you through some of the things that I do. And then, we're gonna have more videos that kind of go a little bit more in depth into like cleaning the equipment and also helping you identify your equipment from other people's equipment, but stay tuned for those. So this is a D-Flight tack box from Chris Christensen. They are kind of the innovators, like one of the first kinds of tack boxes that were out there, but there's lots of different ones out there now. They have similar features. Pick the size, the shape, the one that you want that works for you, whether it's made of aluminum, whether it's made of wood. Aluminum scratches, aluminum gets dinged up, aluminum can get hot and it can get cold. It's also kind of no maintenance, you can wipe it down, right? So a wooden tack box, I've had those as well. They're fantastic. They're really heavy, especially once you get stuff in there. So if you're fine with hauling it around, or you have somebody to help you haul it around, or whatever the case may be. And they look gorgeous, the wooden ones. Also, typically after a couple of years, they need to be stained or revarnished or sanded or something if you want to keep them looking in tip-top shape. So just a couple things to remember there. All right, so most of the tack boxes that I recommend are going to have a place for your leashes and collars. So typically how I like to take care of my leashes is, for most of them, here's my leash. Nice fat Resco, for all of you who are ever wondering what I call a fat Resco. Here's one. So yeah, like when you're putting your leashes away, take off that extra dog hair that got stuck there. So I like to basically fold them in half again. Then I take this upper loop here and I just put it behind the bar, flip it over, and I flip the two tails through. I make it fairly tight, and then I'm gonna flick everything behind that, because when we close the lid, we don't want our leads and collars interfering with the tack that we're keeping in the top of this box, especially chains, right? Because the chains, if you're keeping a pin brush up here, which, a little hint, we're going to, you don't want the chain to get stuck in the pins of your pin brush, right? So bada bing, bada boom, I keep everything back kind of be up behind here whenever possible. If I'm somebody that has a lot of different chains for my dogs, a couple little tips is you can either use like a kilt pin or a shower hook to keep all of your chains on, and then you can just clip it there and kick your chains behind. Also, this is kind of a little stash area back here. So like I have a poodle wrapper that was stuck back there, but I'll keep kind of things back here, maybe my flat ribbons or something like during the day. So that's kind of my leads. You can see how they just keep your leads cleaner, but it's, to me, more important that I'm keeping the collars out of the stuff that's up here. All right, so in the top, I like to take my brushes, and I'm typically going to put them with the back down, and I'm gonna kind of make them like in maybe a little like crisscross pattern, right? So that they're kind of nestled into one another. I'm gonna keep those up there. Look, I have receipts from my last dog show. My vet wrap will go up here. My combs are gonna go in the drawer. And then I have, You know, I have my nail grinder, etc. up in the top of my tack box. So, you know, I like Ziploc bags. Seems simple, but it works, right? So I'm gonna make sure that I have some dried bait in my tack box at all times, just so it's like ready to go for me. I have some cosmetic sticks and I'm keeping those in my Ziploc bag as well. Now we have a drawer, right? So your combs are gonna go in your drawer. I have eye drops, my dog's little makeup brush. I have extra screws for my crate in here. I have my pens and pencils. I typically keep my lip gloss in here as well. And what we don't want, and we're gonna go into this more later, is we don't want your shears in here, your good scissors, right? So I can't tell you how many times I've had friends, people that are complaining about their shears to me, or people that say I can't get my shears to cut, and I go over to their, you know, setup to help them, and they open up their drawer and there's 17 pairs of shears just all slammed in here. That's not gonna keep your shears sharp, and it's kind of a waste of money for anything you've done. Now, what I will like to add to my tack box, and this is whether you have a scissored breed or a non-scissored breed or you use shears at all, is get yourself a little pair of utility scissors. So not as big as kitchen shears, you know, like your bigger ones, but kind of a little, like little kids shears or something easy. So these are great for opening up packages that you have at the dog show. For later when we help you identify your brushes with some vet wrap for cutting this off. But you want a pair of, we call them junk scissors, but kind of just scissors that are utility that you can use for things that you didn't spend $100 on. And as soon as you cut a piece of paper or cut a package open with, they're dull and no longer useful, right? So those are really important. And those are allowed to be in this drawer, okay? They don't need to be in a fancy scissor case or anything. Another pin brush I'm gonna keep in. So then if I have more than one pin brush, I might start to nestle the pin side down. So then, you know, we have this taller side and we're gonna keep our taller spray bottles on that side, right? So I like to make sure that I have everything organized before I go to the dog show. I've taken stock of what I have, maybe Sunday morning or Saturday night at the dog show. I'm gonna take stock of what do I need? Do I need to buy anything from a vendor at the dog show? And just keep my taller things in the one side. They make these great, I think these are originally made for like fishing lures or something, but they make these great little things to hold your rubber bands in, but that can go in the shorter side. You know, again, find a good safe place for your clippers to go. I like to pack extra elastic bands that fit my arm. That's another tip, because sometimes you're gonna go to dog shows and they have little teeny tiny rubber bands to hold your armband on, or they have big huge ones that hold, and neither work for me. So I like to just carry the emergency stash of the size that I like. Remember, whenever possible, we're not using an armband holder because it kind of screams like I'm a novice. I don't really know what I'm doing. Also, realistically, anytime I've seen somebody's numbers fall off in the ring, it's been with an armband holder. So just a little bit of noise there for you. My flat ribbons, I might keep in one of these drawers as well. For those of you, you know, we have a complete video on dilution bottles, all of those things, but you know, if you're stuck at a dog show, you need to wash your dog and dilute some shampoo, water bottle, right? We all have them. You can borrow one from somebody set up next to you and you can mix up your shampoo in that. I don't like to take diluted shampoo around with me, right? So on Sunday, I would just toss this out and it would be gone. And you can keep your scissor cases, right? So again, if you're using shears, even thinning shears for your double coated breed or your smooth coated dog, but your shears should be safely in a case designed for that purpose. This case, I love this case. It actually has too many shears in it right now because again, if you overload the shear case, it's going to do the same thing as throwing them in a drawer, but you'll see I've used the little cleaning cloths to have so that there's no metal on metal, right? So I don't have one pair of shears actually sitting on top of another pair, but we'll get more into that in a minute. But yeah, your shear case zipped up to keep it nice and clean can go in the bottom here. I like to have like a little towel or paper towel for cleaning my equipment. Some maybe extra rubber bands would go under here. Anything extra that you need to fit in your tack box, right? Then you can take all of your little, I don't need these old wrappers. I don't need those old rubber bands. I'm gonna find a nice safe place for this to go, maybe up here. You can go in my tack box, right? Then we simply close up our tack box. And whether it's the night at the dog show or we're getting ready to go home, everything is nice, neat in our tack box, completely enclosed, encased, locked up. We don't have to worry about it, and you're ready to go. So making sure that your equipment is organized and there's a place for everything, right? So that was like kind of a very loose demonstration, but if you have a place for everything, it's going to help you easier keep track of what you have, what you need, what you ran out of, what you're missing, what did you leave at ringside, etc. So I hope that helps.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching today's video. Please leave us a comment below, let us know what you thought, and as well, if you have any ideas for future content that you'd like to see, you can put them down there as well. You can head over to leadingedgedogshow.academy.com where you can find our free, premium, and subscription content, and we'd love to have you join us there. As well, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications, that way you never miss another free video tutorial. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.